Hi, welcome to an episode of In the Gardens. I'm horticulturist Greg Lusk, and we're here at the Amarillo Botanical Gardens. Today we're going to talk about watering and insect and disease control. We're right here in front of the McMenemy waterfall. It's a beautiful day. If you haven't been to the gardens lately, you really need to get out. It's looking fantastic. There's new things blooming each day, and with all this rain we received, it's really a great time to visit the gardens. Now, the rain may be backing off and the temperatures are going to raise, and so watering. We're going to be back to watering. I know we've gotten out of the habit of watering, but we're going to be back into it soon. Now, the soil is saturated to pretty deep, so plants that are established, trees, shrubs, perennials that have been there for a year or more aren't going to need watering for a while, particularly if it continues to rain a little bit. So don't get in a hurry on watering those. But your newly planted stuff is going to need watering. You're going to think the soil looks wet, but that root ball has not, the roots have not expanded out into the soil. And so they're going to dry out pretty quick when it hits 90 degrees this weekend. And so you're going to really want to watch those and be cautious to not let them succumb to being dry. Now, when you do water well, water deeply, and don't just sprinkle the top of the soil. Now, since the root zone, the soil profile is full of water, you're not going to need to drench it deeply right now. So I'm talking more about later this summer when it dries out and we lose this soil moisture that we have right now. So right now, just make sure nothing dries out and you're paying attention to it each day. Now, sometimes plants, particularly in pots, they're going to need water even more often. I have here this mangave. It's been sitting outside in the rain, but it's very dry. The leaves themselves are shedding the water and it's not reaching the soil. So leafy plants, like if you have a large pot that's full of plants, sometimes you'll be surprised how much water the leaves can shed away from the plant and it doesn't go into the pot. So be really mindful of those potted plants and hanging baskets right now. And remember, it's always a good time to fertilize. We've talked about fertilizing in earlier episodes. You can go back and look at that. But a weekly to 10-day fertilizing on all your potted and bedding plants is a great idea. Remember to wet the foliage with the fertilizer solution as well. Now we're going to head over and look at some insect and disease problems you need to be aware of. So here we are in the butterfly garden, and of course we don't do much treating of insects and disease in this garden. We try to keep things healthy, of course, though. But first of all, I'm here in front of these beautiful hollyhocks. And if you don't have hollyhocks in your garden, you're missing out, because these are beautiful, long-lived plants that are just fantastic. And you just got to appreciate their size and their beauty. The hollyhocks are susceptible to a lot of insect disease, and here we have a lot of holes in these hollyhock leaves. This is caused by snails. You want to be sure to investigate and see what kind of pest is actually invading your plants. There were snails around, it's been moist, and these are on the bottom leaves were being eaten up, so I know it's snails. So snails are easy to treat. There's a number of items on the market for that. So, but if you found beetles or something like that, or grasshoppers, it's real specific. So learn what your plant you're dealing with, learn the insect, and go to your local nursery and get some ideas of what to do about that. Next is some rust disease. It comes around when we have high humidity and a lot of rain, and it can be treated with a fungicide. And so my point is, you really need to be investigating your plants thoroughly right now. Look for worms on your geraniums, flowers, worms on other plants and disease, and treat it now before it really gets to be a big problem.